All right, shalom, y'all. All right, so what we're talking about today is the title is Facing Ourselves, okay? You could call it Facing Ourselves, or we might call it Self-Deception. And it's critical to becoming aware of areas that, you need to shed the light of the word on. It's critical to becoming aware of areas that you need to bring before the Most High, like what you heard today in the message that you heard today, okay? And what we're going to do, I'm going to just go through a quick recap of last week's message, which was basically, learning to love your brother, learning to be somebody that could be counted on. And if you're deceived by yourself, self-deception, and it's what we're going to find in this message that is a work of Satan. It's going to be hard for your brothers to count on you and everything like that. So we need to go through and do the work that's necessary to, see where we might be deceived at. And so we can love our brothers, we love ourselves, okay? So a quick recap of last week's message is some of the stuff we talked about was what makes somebody unreliable, or a brother, what are the qualities and the mindsets, behaviors of a brother or a sister who's unreliable. And so I'm gonna just read through some of them. Experiences of individuals who cannot be counted on. So these are some of the experiences. Saints become hesitant to rely on you or your contributions. Saints feel burdened by having to compensate for your unreliability. You are often overlooked for important tasks and duties. You develop a reputation as someone who is unreliable and undependable. Your work and actions may be more closely monitored, so people have to look things over real closely and spend more time following up. Lack of dependability can lead to conflict and weaken brotherhood and sisterhood. So it could erode away. It operates below the surface, and if people aren't aware of it, it can erode away at a community, at a brotherhood, at sisterhood. Okay, deep down, you may experience a lack of self-respect due to your inconsistency. Your unreliability can negatively impact the community's overall success, okay? Like the word says, one sinner can destroy much good, okay? So you gotta really, for your brother's sake, make sure you're not deceived in any area. So look, while you might avoid initial effort, the consequences of unreliability can create significant stress. Over time, saints may distance themselves due to the frustration of working with you. This can destroy a community, okay? I said that earlier. So what we're talking about now is we're going to go into self-deception. And let me ask y'all this, and just put your hands up, you know the answer to this. And I know some people will know the answer, so I might not pick you, but we'll see. What's the one thing that's the same in all of your problems? Hey, hold on. Tone knows it because he's laughing. I know Umbry knows. You put your hand down, Umbry. Martez.
What is it, Tony?
No, don't tell him. You don't know?
Nope.
John, you thinking hard.
Ask the question one more time.
What's the one thing that's the same in all of your problems? Every problem you've ever had.
You?
Oh, so I'm your problem? Yeah, you're right. Who had that? You didn't have that?
I thought pride, bro.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it just leading to it. But the one thing that's the same in all the problems you have in life is you. You're the common denominator in all your problems. Okay? So consciously avoiding self-examination leads to self-examination. Self-deception. I'm sorry. So consciously avoiding examining yourself, looking at what's going on in you, it leads to self-deception. You walk through life deceived and you don't even know it. And part of the work we have to do, part of the reason we come together as we come together now and have our brothers around us, the iron sharpening iron process makes it easier to discern and find areas that you otherwise wouldn't be able to see where you're in error in. That's the benefit of being around your brothers and sisters. And that's why, like I watch people that'll come the straight way and they'll avoid becoming a part of an assembly and stuff like that. And you're not really walking this thing out then, because like the real growth starts when you become a part of an assembly and then you become a part of a community. You see what I'm saying? That's when you really begin to see stuff about yourself. Okay. So 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Okay? Satan uses people, so why wouldn't he try to use you? You understand what I'm saying? He's deceptive. And again, if you're not vigilant, if you're if you operate in self-deception, you can guarantee with 100% certainty Satan's using you. That's why you have to be vigilant. You see what I'm saying? So you should be looking inside and outside. That's where your vigilance. You need to look around you to see where Satan's using people. But you also need to look within and make sure he's not using you, okay? And that's kind of the point of this message. Okay. And remember this, okay? Remember this when y'all go out there, when this meeting's over, and y'all walk out there, and y'all eat that meal, and then the meal's done, and it's snack time. And remember what I'm getting ready to say here, okay? It says, and remember, the reason why Satan's temptations are so alluring is because they feel good. Yeah. So when you're looking at that snack table, that cookie, just tell your brother, I'll just, I'll be out there talking junk down there. You be out there. Feels good. All right, look. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobates. Okay? Listen, I'm going to break it down. I'm going to read that in an easy read version. Think carefully about how you are living. Are you really believing the message about Christ? I hope you know that Jesus Christ is in you. You ought to know that unless you have completely failed. Okay? So it's the big thing. Think carefully. You got to be careful what you think. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Okay, breaking that down in the simpler terms. Be very careful to keep your mind safe. You got to protect your mind. Just like I told you earlier, you have to be vigilant because Satan is looking to submit thoughts, feelings, emotions, urges. He's looking to submit that stuff. And like you heard Pastor say in his message today, man, these spirits study you. They're studying you all the time, looking for a way in there. And we can't give it to them. We can't. This is why we got to keep the brotherhood airtight and the sisterhood airtight. You know what I'm saying? So here's some of the ways people will become self-deceived. Avoiding accountability breeds false confidence. By never truly examining actions, we might build a superficial belief in our infallibility. Okay? So you have a diluted idea of who you are in your mind, and you ain't that, you know? And it can be real tricky when you're in like a leadership position or something like that. Like even me, I'm a head of an assembly. And if you're not careful, you be like, oh, yeah, I'm good and all that. Nah, even more so, I got to be extra vigilant to make sure, look, like what I told y'all happened earlier. It'd be real easy for me to just sweep that under and act like I didn't mess up or nothing like that. You see what I'm saying? You got to be accountable. You got to hold yourself accountable. You know what I'm saying? And your brothers are going to hold you accountable too if they love you. All right? This false confidence is inherently insecure and fake because it's not rooted in genuine self-awareness and proven and problem solving. It's easy. Man, I'm reading terrible. Hold on. Because it's not rooted in genuine self-awareness and problem solving, it's easily threatened by reality and criticism. So because it's not built on anything solid where you're going through the pain, where you're actually dealing with the problem head on in a righteous way like you need to, you're just kind of smoothing it over, it crumbles easily, okay? It's easily threatened by reality and criticism. It's a performance, not a solid foundation. So you're just putting on an act, okay? To maintain this facade, we become deceptive. We might lie to ourselves and others about our actions and motivations and the true nature of situations to avoid acknowledging our part in problems. You're the only part in the problem. You see what I'm saying? You're the consistent part in the problems. So again, it's about going through the pain and realizing, hey, this is something I got to work on, okay? Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Well, we know who knows it. The Most High knows it. You know what I'm saying? You might not know it, but Yah does. And again, you heard the message today that Shet put out. You heard it. Like these areas where you're lacking in, he'll put it on your heart that, hey, you need to work on this. Plead, beg. It's called supplication. Y'all remember the definition of supplication? Desperately, earnestly, humbly begging Yah for his help. Okay? Ironically, and what I put here is don't trust Yah, trust his word. And it says, ironically, this pattern leads to low self-esteem. Deep down, we are likely aware of the discrepancies between our carefully constructed image and reality. The constant need for deception and the avoidance of genuine growth erode true self-worth. And y'all, look, I've seen some stuff. So look, I suspect this is a cause, but just listen to what I'm saying. Over time, if you constantly on a serious level just continue to avoid facing things in yourself, I've seen some stuff that it eventually leads to mental disorders, depression, schizophrenia, stuff like that, okay? When you just constantly shove stuff down inside and you never face it, and it's still alive, it's still festering below the surface, but you just choose to like not, you see what I'm saying? That's something to look into and to consider, okay? In essence, by dodging responsibility and self-reflection, we trap ourselves in a cycle of superficial confidence, insecurity, and dishonesty, ultimately undermining our genuine self-worth and our righteousness, okay? The light of the Most High's word forces us to face these dark aspects of ourselves if we truly desire to grow. And when you become aware of these areas in yourself and you see it clearly, Shep laid it out perfectly what you need to do. Bring it to Yah. Tell him you want to, and it's like, he showed his son. Like, if you asking Yah to change that and help you with that, what do you think he's going to do? You see what I'm saying? Okay, we're almost done. James chapter 1, verse 22. But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. So you can deceive, you could even be reading the word and deceive yourself. You see what I'm saying? James chapter 1, verse 22. But prove yourself, this is in the Amplified, same verse. But prove yourselves doers of the word, actively and continually obeying God's precepts, and not merely listening, and not merely listeners who hear the word but fail to internalize its meaning, deluding yourselves by unsound reasoning and unsound reasoning contrary to the truth. So again, those voices in your head, oh yeah, this nigga don't know what he talking about. That, whatever, I'm good. That's unsound reasoning. When book is telling you something else, when your brothers are telling you something else. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. Okay? You got to humble yourself. You got to know that you ain't it. Okay? 1 John chapter 1, verse 8. If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves. So again, you can deceive yourself. And the truth is not in us. Okay? Galatians chapter 6, verse 3. For if a man thinketh himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. Okay? Galatians chapter 4, verse 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? I'm telling you, hearing some of this stuff, it can make you feel some type of way when you're getting corrected, rebuked sometimes. But you got to have a desire to grow and develop. I read that verse earlier. It says, or somebody could get that verse, where a wise man desires correction or whatever, but a fool don't want it. It's like a verse in Proverbs. Okay? What are they doing? You want to get it? Don't make people your enemy for telling you the truth. Hey, go, Enoch, go out there with him real quick so you're not distracting the meat. Okay? Don't make people your enemy for telling you the truth. Don't make people your enemy for loving you. Okay? People will have an issue and say things like, ain't no other. So what I wrote here, people, and you see it a lot with these people who left the ministry. They're like, ain't nobody telling me what to do. Ain't no man ruling over me, this, that, and the other. when the word says you have to have, like, it's clear in the word, you need brothers around you. You need a structure around you. You need it, or you're gonna fumble. I mean, I could tell you that because of my life. I fumbled through all my life. I haven't, since I've become a part of Straightway, I got men over me, men in authority over me that I submit to. And it's like I've been very structured and focused in my life ever since. Prior to that, it was just kind of, this is life. This is how it was. It was like feeling your way through. You know what I'm saying? And this is the trippy part. That whole, oh, ain't no man telling me what to do. I don't need to be up under no man. That is something that's been, particularly to our people in this country, it's been sold to them to be individualites. All these other countries, all these other nations, all these other races of people that have rule and stuff, they are very much together and committed, submitted. Locked together in tight structures of authority. And I mean, where these dudes couldn't fail if they tried. I met a dude when I was in Jacksonville at the gym. As a white dude. His father, he was telling me about a story where him and his brother were out in Amelia Island driving, and he was high on cocaine or something, driving and drunk, driving oncoming traffic. Cop pulled him over, saw who he was, and he was like, put your brother in that seat, you know. And so his brother got in the seat. Let your brother drive. Don't let me catch you out here again, this, that, and the other. Let him go. He said, I couldn't go to jail if I tried. His father owned hotels with an S. You know, he's showing me pictures of him flying into Vegas on a Learjet. But then he told me and I was like, when he told me that, I'm just asking more questions. He was like, yeah. He's like, if I want to do this, all I got to do is call my uncle. He'll call his friend, and I'll have this, and he have some business up and running successful. And then us, we can't stay out of jail if we try. They say out of I don't know about Hispanics, but out of 3 black men, 1 has been to jail. So anybody been to jail, raise your hand.
It's higher than that.
Ooh, it's higher than that here. Got some goddamn criminals up in his But that's what they say. But again, that's part of the curses. That's the curses. We don't work together. We don't stick together. And we deceive ourselves in a deceptive country. Anyway, y'all, that's all I got. Appreciate all y'all tuning in. Shalom, shalom.